Hey there, everybody. This is Mike. This is Lit F Media, and hey, today I want to talk to you about a recent camera purchase, and I'm thinking that it's something that we've probably all dealt with, and we can probably all relate. I'm doing a little bit of this mobile kind of setup today. There we go. All right. Because I just wanted to get out of the office / studio and take this camera kind of, I don't know if out and about is the right term because I'm right here in my kitchen, but I did want to get away from that setting to kind of show how versatile this camera is. And my tripod is kind of wonky at the moment. There we go. That looks better. So the camera we're talking about today is the Nikon Z30. And this is one of those cameras that gets some attention, but I don't think it gets all the attention that it deserves. It is a very good entry-level camera that does way more than you think it should for that price point and for the way it was marketed. So this has been my experience with this camera. I bought this camera because I was influenced on YouTube. I did see a lot of videos because when it first came out, it was a pretty hot topic. Everybody wanted to talk about this video-centric camera that did not have a viewfinder, that was really focusing on the vlogging content creator market. And so that seemed to be the new strategy for a lot of camera companies. Sony did that, Nikon's doing that, Canon is now doing pretty much the same thing. They have a camera, the R50V, that looks very similar to this camera. And so that seems to be the new growing market for camera companies. So being that I do a lot of this kind of talking head, vlogging style content creation, this seemed like the perfect camera for me. But it didn't come without its drawbacks. One of them being the viewfinder doesn't have one. It doesn't have a lot of those premium features that you'll see on other cameras. But what it did have, and what I was very drawn to, was the form factor, very small footprint. I did like the collapsible lens. I liked the grip. From what I could tell on YouTube and the videos, it had a very substantial grip, so the ergonomics were very good. And it had a lot of those features that I appreciate in a camera, like the tally light up front and function buttons here around the lens. And on the back, a lot of custom buttons and dials. And the flip out screen. Now it doesn't have internal stabilization or in-body image stabilization, but if you have a lens that has stabilization in it, and then you have some electronic or digital stabilization, when you put those two together, it's not horrible, but it's definitely not something that I've come accustomed to on my Fuji camera that has 5-axis image stabilization built in body. That's a totally different type of stabilization, but you know, that aside, this camera is extremely functional. I've taken this on a number of vacations. I've taken it on trips. I've used it in the park across the street to do walk and talk type content. And I have been so pleasantly surprised at just how well this camera performs. And the one feature, the one area where this camera really shines, because it's so video centric, but it's the photography. I take pictures with this camera, and you gotta understand, this kit lens is not a great kit lens. It's mostly plastic. And I got the kit where you get this lens, which is the 16-55, I believe. And then it comes with the, I think it's the 70 nope, not 70, it's the 50-250 lens. And so it's a pretty decent zoom lens. And the pictures I get out of these two lenses on this camera body are, I don't want to throw hyperbole out there, but they're mind-boggling, because right here I have the Sony a6700. Now this camera, if you look online, is supposed to be, it's highly touted and it's praised for being a very good, if not almost perfect hybrid camera. It combines great video specs with great photo specs. This particular camera, the reason why I bought it is because I wanted a camera that was future-proof. This shoots 422 10-bit. It has 4K downsampled from 6K. It has a 24 megapixel sensor, and so I needed a camera that I could keep for the next 5 years, and that would still be a very reliable camera and very competitive camera for the next 5 years. So that's why I bought the Sony. But when I compare the pictures from the Nikon against the ones from the Sony, I would say at least 50%, if not more. The Nikon is going to be sharper. Now, I don't know why. I'm not that much of a camera enthusiast to really deep dive into specs like that. But what I can tell you is that despite the fact that this only has a 20 megapixel sensor, a majority of my photos are sharper, and my focus ends up being tack sharp. And so I don't know if that's because of the internals, the sensor or the algorithm that they have built in, but I very rarely miss a shot with my Nikon, where with the Sony, sometimes, more often in photo than video. The video is extremely reliable when it comes to autofocus, but the photos, not always. They might look, initially they might look sharp, but when you do some pixel peeping and you really zoom in on the image, you'll see that it's very soft in the background. And I'm not saying like because of the depth of field and the bokeh. I'm talking very close to where your subject is. You'll start to see some blurring, and it's just not as sharp. So it's perplexing, but it's also exciting because I love taking this camera with me when I go places. I've seen a lot of content creators, photographers, videographers that say, you know, always have a camera with you because you'll regret missing a shot if you don't. And so this is the camera that I usually take with me. Battery life is pretty decent. It's small, not pocketable, but it's much smaller than this. And this is not a large camera. This is a fairly small camera when you compare it against a full frame camera, but it's noticeably heavier than the Nikon. And so if I'm gonna take a camera with me, it's this one. I recently went to Aruba, as you can see here. This is the camera that I took, and this is the one that I did. If I wanted a really good photo, this is what I used. I didn't use my phone. I didn't use some of the action cameras that I took with me. I used my Nikon. So don't want to belabor this issue, but I do just want to make a plug for the Nikon Z30, that it is way more than you would expect it to be. But if you're someone who needs a viewfinder, well, then you're probably going to want to look at the Z50, which they just came out with the Z50 Mark II, getting a lot of high praise for that camera. But hey, if you like talking about content creation and the gear that goes along with it, well, then I highly encourage you to become a subscriber, hit the little notification bell so you can be notified when the next video drops. And if you like this video and you got some value out of it, do me a favor, let me know down in the comments. That always helps out. I appreciate that feedback. If you have any questions or issues with the video, hey, let me know that too. Because I like hearing from the people who watch my videos. And the only way to get better is constructive criticism and help point me in the right direction. But hey, with that in mind, that's all I got for you today. I am Mike, this is Load F Media, and we will look forward to seeing you in the next one.